My brother stole my savings and laughed, so I exposed his secret at his big promotion party. He didn't even hesitate. Not a single flicker of guilt crossed his face when I told him the account had been drained. I stared at the screen, zero balance, transaction logs showing transfers to an account with his name, clear as day. Years of savings, gone in an instant. I'd built that fund piece by piece, skipping luxuries, doubling shifts, watching the numbers crawl upward like a mountain I was climbing alone. And he knocked it down with one swift kick, like it was a pile of dust. I asked him why. I asked how he could do that to me, to his own brother, when he knew how hard I'd worked for every dollar. His answer wasn't an apology. It was a laugh. Cold, clipped, and sharp like glass underfoot. He leaned back in his chair, arms crossed like he was proud of himself. "Should have kept your password safe," he said, smirking. "You're too trusting, man." No remorse. No acknowledgement of what he'd done. Just that smug look like I was the idiot for not seeing it coming. He'd always been the golden boy, perfect resume, fast promotions, big network of fake smiles. And I'd always stayed in the background, the quiet one, the reliable one, the brother who didn't stir the pot. But this time, the silence had a cost. A high one. I didn't yell. I didn't throw punches or threaten. I just walked out. Not because I had nothing to say, but because that was the moment something in me shifted. The helplessness burned, but beneath it, something colder started forming. I wasn't going to beg anymore. He thought I'd fold? He thought wrong. Over the next few months, while he paraded around flaunting his success, I started digging. Quietly, methodically. I knew his arrogance would be his weak point. He liked to brag, especially when he thought he was untouchable. I started with my bank records, matched every unauthorized transfer to his activity. I found the trail, messy, cocky, and rushed. But that alone wouldn't ruin him. He'd probably spin it, say it was a loan between brothers or some mix-up. So I waited. I watched. And then came the invite, his big corporate party. Promotion to executive management. A gathering of important names, company brass, investors, media people. The kind of event where everyone wore forced smiles and whispered power moves between toasts. He probably assumed I wouldn't show. After all, I was broke, humiliated, erased. But I had something else now. While going through some old shared files from our earlier college projects, I'd found a hidden folder. Tucked away under layers of renamed files was a document trail. His messages with a rival firm, clear negotiations, payouts listed next to timestamps. A deal he wasn't supposed to be making, especially not while finalizing contracts with his own company. He'd violated their trust, broken confidentiality, and worst of all for him, it was in writing. Emails, voice memos, account transfers. I backed up everything, filed it safely under cloud and hard storage, and waited. The night of the party came fast. He stood at the center of it all, grinning like he'd already won the game. People clapped. Speeches began. Lights shifted across the room as he raised a glass for the big toast, confident, polished, invincible. Then I stepped forward. Nobody noticed at first. Just another face in the crowd. But when I reached the mic beside the stage, people turned. I wasn't in a suit. I wasn't smiling. I just looked at him, and his smile faltered. "Before we celebrate," I said, my voice calm, "let's talk about the kind of man you just promoted." Silence rippled through the room. He froze. I pulled out my phone, tapped the screen, and shared the files to the display. The projector behind him lit up with the subject lines of emails, bank logs, timestamps, his betrayal, line by line. Gasps rolled through the crowd. Phones came out. Whispers spread like fire. I didn't shout. I didn't need to. The truth was loud enough on its own. In one corner, I saw the HR director step aside, already on the phone. His manager stared at the screen with a clenched jaw. And him? He stood there, face draining of color, the mic slipping from his hand. All the charm, all the ego, gone in a blink. My savings never came back. After that night, everything changed. Not just for him, but for me too. The party didn't end with applause or congratulations. It ended in chaos. Security swarmed the stage, Not to remove me, but to get him out of sight. His superiors didn't say a word to him. Not one. I stood there, not triumphant, not proud, just steady. I'd said what I needed to say. I showed them what they needed to see. By morning, it was already out. The leaks went viral. Business blogs, forums, and even local news ran headlines about the executive under investigation. His face was plastered beside stories of corporate betrayal and internal corruption. The company made no official comment, but a day later, his name was quietly removed from their website. His role? Vacant. He called me twice that week. I didn't answer. A few days later, I got a letter, handwritten, desperate. He didn't apologize. He begged, said everything was misunderstood, that I'd blown it out of proportion, that I didn't understand how the industry worked. He even said he was being scapegoated. Every sentence just dug him deeper. It was clear he still didn't get it. He still thought he could talk his way out. I burned the letter. Weeks passed. He tried to reach out through mutual friends, even our parents. I kept quiet, not because I wanted to punish him, but because there was nothing left to say. He had broken more than a rule. He'd torn through every thread of trust like it didn't matter. He had stolen from me, laughed in my face, and treated me like I was disposable. And now he wanted sympathy because his house of lies had collapsed. I wasn't going to be the person who helped him rebuild it. Still, I wasn't done. Just because he lost his job didn't mean he'd pay the price. Financially, he still had what he took from me. I wasn't rich. I didn't have lawyers lined up or power to pull strings. But I had patience. I had time. And I had proof. I filed a case. Quietly. I knew it wouldn't be fast. These things never were. But I had everything in place: bank statements, transfer logs, evidence of access from his devices. I'd even kept the original security alert from my bank about the IP address that triggered the breach. It all pointed to him. Every shred of it. And this time, it wasn't about public embarrassment. This time, it was legal. He didn't respond to the initial notice. Probably thought it would go away. It didn't. Court dates were set. I showed up. He didn't. Eventually, his lawyer contacted mine. Tried to settle, lowballing me with half offers, claiming financial hardship. I rejected every one. I didn't want part of my savings. I wanted all of it. Every dollar back where it belonged. The judge saw it clearly. The evidence was overwhelming. The final ruling came on a rainy Thursday morning, nearly 7 months after the party. He was ordered to repay the full amount, plus damages. It wouldn't ruin his life, but it would set mine right. I walked out of the courtroom not smiling, not angry, just relieved. But the story didn't end there. A month after the judgment, I found him waiting outside my building. Same suit, but older. Unshaven. Tired in a way that didn't come from lack of sleep. He didn't say anything at first. Just stood near the steps, shifting on his feet. "What do you want?" I asked. He looked up. His eyes were different now. Not arrogant. Not bitter. Just hollow. "I lost everything," he said. I didn't respond. He continued. "I lost the job, the apartment, the car. Everyone stopped answering my calls. I'm not even sure what I'm doing anymore. I messed up. I know that." I waited. Let him say what he needed to say. "I didn't just take your money. I took advantage of you. You never fought back before. I figured you wouldn't this time either. But you did. And I can't change that." He looked down at the ground. "I just wanted to tell you. I'm sorry." I believed he meant it. But it didn't matter anymore. He was sorry because he had nothing left, not because he'd understood what he'd done when it mattered. Forgiveness wasn't something I could hand out like a receipt. It wasn't something he'd earned by standing in the rain and saying the right words. "You'll pay the judgment," I said. "Every month. On time. That's the only thing I want from you now." He nodded, silent. Then he left. The payment started a few weeks later. Small, but steady. Direct deposit. No notes. No calls. Just numbers moving from his account to mine, like they should have in the first place. I didn't check the balance every day. I didn't celebrate. I just moved forward. I got my own place, nothing extravagant, but it was mine. No roommates, no noise. Just quiet, solid walls, and a door that locked. I picked up extra work again, just to rebuild faster. Not because I had to, but because I wanted control back. I didn't want to feel like anyone else had a say in my future ever again. And slowly, things leveled out. The anger faded. The resentment dulled. What remained was something sharper: clarity. My brother had always treated people like tools. I just hadn't noticed it before. Or maybe I had, I just didn't want to admit it. He climbed by stepping over others, using charm as a cover. He thought being smart made him untouchable. He never considered that the person he dismissed the most would be the one to bring everything down. He underestimated me. That was his final mistake. Now I keep to myself. I don't trust easily, and I don't speak to him. Not even on holidays. Our parents don't ask about it anymore. They know what happened. They saw the fallout. They understand the wall between us isn't made of pride, it's made of reality. He broke something that doesn't rebuild. He took more than money. And while the law made him pay financially, there's a part of the damage that can't be measured in court. But I'm not angry anymore. I don't wake up bitter. I don't replay the betrayal in my head. I won. Not because he lost, but because I got my life back. On my own terms. And that was worth more than any savings account could ever hold.